Ajamu-Osagboro, and I represent Asians and Africans and Alliance United for the Defense of Chinatown. Basically, what was already said, almost each individual, one of the things that I see, and you see this all the time, is what we have to do is take and find the thread, the common thread in all of these circumstances, this common thread of oppression, this common thread of genocide, this common thread of displacement. We have to link all of those things together when we come together. And when you do that, you'll see that we all fight the same fight. It just has a different face. It's ending in the same thing, and we don't understand. Oftentimes we try to go at this thing in our little silos, but that don't really work. It's not really effective. Coming together and pooling our resources, our talent, so forth and so on, you get a much better result, and you don't allow them to be victorious, because in the film, they were victorious. They tore us down, they lost. You know, the oppressed lost. And when I looked at that, like I was telling the sister that was sitting next to me, Blanche, I was saying, I always look at things like that and like to make it better. And one of the things that I seen, the mistakes that they made, is that the Filipinos kept calling themselves poor. That's not why they did it. They did it because they was Filipinos. And they should have highlighted that. The Black Panthers taught us, heighten the contradiction. And the contradiction was that you are doing this because we are Filipinos, we're Asians. You're attacking Asians because they're Asian. That's the only reason you're doing it. The poor thing was after the fact. And so we have to make that distinction and have to highlight that. Just like Mama Way was saying, and it was a pleasure to meet her, and I was so glad she was here, that I told her that we have people power. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of money, but we're going to put a face on that money. And we're going to find out other things that they invested in, and we're going to shut them Jones down too. And we're going to make them blood. We're going to make them bad. Like you affiliate with them, then we're going to shut you down. And trust me, folks, just like they did Kanye, everybody backed up off him as soon as they made him. We're going to do the same thing to the folks that's involved with the Philadelphia 76ers. And then my last point, because there's a whole lot I want to say, but I'm going to be short and mindful of time. I think it was, somebody came up here, I think it was Gigi, was talking about us getting to know each other. In order for this solidarity, this alliance to really work and move forward and have it last forever, as opposed to just for Chinatown, we have to start being real honest about what's going on, the conflict in our communities, our conflict in the African and Asian communities, some of the stereotypes that we use about one another. We have to debunk that, and the only way you can do that is you find someone who doesn't look like you, sit down with them and build, and come to some type of agreement with them based on a common goal for everybody involved, and not just for one group of people. And so until we do that, we're not going to be genuine and authentic, and this alliance is not going to ask beyond us saving Chinatown, because we're going to save it. They're not going to get it. But we have to understand that it's a continuous thread linked in all of these struggles. And we have to be there for one another, because one of the things that we say in our community, one of the gripes, and whether or not it has traction, you know, only history will tell, is that a lot of times in the African struggle, Asians don't show up. And so if that's true, then we have to change that. And what do we have to do in order to change that? Because African people be there for everybody. We don't care who you is, we show up for you and we go hard. But what we've learned historically is that at the same time we go hard for people, when it comes time for us, you know, the foot is on our neck, a lot of folks don't show up. We can't have that. So now, when we do come together, the more we talk, the more we build, the more we understand, we have to understand that there are consequences in being treasonous. If we together, then we're going to be together. And we're going to ride till we go off the cliff. Like the sister said, we're going to ride or die. And have to be that for everybody. And so once we get to that conclusion and understand that, then we can get some things done on saving Chinatown from the arena. Because it's not hard to vilify the individuals who trying to bulldoze because they already villains. So we got work to do. We got to continue to communicate with one another, and we got to continue to be honest and open about what you really think about somebody that don't look like you. Because a lot of times, you know, because we all under the yoke of white supremacy. And don't get surprised when I say white supremacy and look for a certain type of person, because you got black-faced white supremacists too, and brown-faced white supremacists too. They're all agents of white supremacy, because that's what's trying to roll down on Chinatown, white supremacy. Chinatown now, like somebody pointed out, but tomorrow, who's next? Because trust me, somebody is next. Because we always being next. The Latinx community is always next. So what do we have to do right now to solidify this alliance and move forward and save Chinatown? Go tell.